T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition.
NASA has discovered that the two delinquents, Beavis and Butthead, have the right stuff when it comes to docking the shuttle Endeavour to the Mir station. The two are blasted off into space and quickly cause a cosmic incident that causes them to do the universe. Hey everyone, welcome back to Clubhouse Movies Podcast. I'm your host, Mark Rubalcaba, joined once again by Mr. Ayo Panetta, and today we'll be reviewing Beavis and Butthead, Do the Universe, directed by Albert Corellos and John Rice.
It's like 1998, but like in 2022. Quick! Cornholio needs a TV first bunghole. I am Cornholio.
So, I missed Beavis and Butthead.
I liked them too, you know. I remember staying up like with my... God, I am saying like way too often right now.
This sucks.
Nice. 69. What? So, no, I remember staying up late with my older brother just watching this when our mom would tell us to go to sleep because it came out like in the late 90s. And I wasn't a wee kid, but I was a little kid. And it was funny.
Well, so there's a couple of things to Beavis and Butthead. It was one of those things that when it came out, it was like a cultural phenomenon. And people were dumb enough to do what Beavis and Butthead did, and they had that disclaimer at the beginning where Beavis and Butthead are not humans, they're cartoons.
Yeah, it's like Jackass.
Don't do anything they do. But it was before Jackass. They were even like real people.
Yeah, I know. They were animated.
They were clearly cartoons. And I have to say, my favorite part about like these two movies, because it's actually a sequel. You'll remember the first was Beavis and Butthead Do America. No music videos. And I always felt like the music videos really took away from the Beavis and Butthead action.
Yeah.
And they did have a little revival in the like mid 2010s or whatever.
Yeah.
And they had the music videos again. And I'm like, oh, I don't have time for this. Like music videos.
No time for this.
And that didn't resonate with people, didn't resonate with me as much, but this movie did. And I did find myself laughing a lot more than I thought I would. And also when I was even doing the recap, I caught little jokes.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny? I don't know if you remember when this show used to air, it would air late at night, right? Like on MTV late at night and all that stuff. Well, to keep...
Which is 10:30. So like
as a kid,
late at night, 10:30 doesn't mean I was like...
What's even more hilarious is that as you're an adult now that, you know, works and has, you know, a life, 10:30 is still pretty late.
I know.
But like if you have work in the morning, that's so late. But I started watching this movie and I had to watch it across a few nights just because, you know, busy. But I started watching it at like 10:30, 11 o'clock. I think the latest time I put it on was 1 a.m.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was in that mindset to watch this movie. And then I finished it. I think I messed up. I finished it by watching it in the middle of the day. And it was not meant... This is not a middle of the day movie.
It is a movie. It does it doesn't feel as cinematic as Do America because Do America was also co-starring Bruce Willis and Demi Moore.
Yes.
So there was like gravitas there, and I feel like that their excursion, even though in this movie Beavis and Butthead traverse space and time, somehow the Do America felt more grandiose. So I guess they got to do like the world now, which is even smaller than the universe. But I don't know. I always felt like Beavis and Butthead were destined for greatness, and in a way, like in this movie, they did kind of settle upon that. And there's a Robot Chicken sketch that I actually really like with Beavis and Butthead.
I don't remember it, so please do recap.
It was Beavis and Butthead in the modern times when Barack Obama was president. And actually, Beavis was lead counsel for the
I remember this
Obama administration.
Holy cow, I remember this. All right, go ahead.
And then and then it's him in like a suit and like in his secretary is like, I have a Mr. Head on the line for you. A Mr. Head.
Oh yes, and he left a message. It says heh 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 heh.
I have to go.
He's hello Beavis, I missed you. And it's still him. He's like, oh Beavis. And then like
your house looks like a toilet. Honey, this is Butthead. I'm sorry, he just showed up.
You know, I'm so happy to meet someone who can fill me in on Jim's mysterious childhood.
You said fill me.
And then
I see you play in my head.
Yeah, and then Barack Obama and like Michelle are like having a dinner party. He's like, this is my high school friend Butthead.
Your stories are a delight, Mr. Head. I was certain old Jimmy the uptight lawyer was more of a bookish child.
Whatever, President Bong Rip.
Oh, touche.
He's like, oh, the childhood like shenanigans.
Oh, man.
And then somehow like they gave like Beavis something. He's like, oh no, don't give him that. He's like, oh, I'm going now. And he's like, oh no, Manchurian candidate. You know?
Oh, dude, so good.
So like to me, I always imagined Beavis and Butthead doing something, but like I want them to save the world, and everybody hates them for it.
Yeah, and it's funny, you know, like you're watching this movie, and it will pass you by if you're just watching it. You know, there's a thing here. So when the first one came out, nobody had smartphones. Now, as you have smartphones and you're watching this one, which is a direct-to-home release, you have to make sure just disconnect from your phone, because if not, you're gonna miss all these subtle humor.
And you know what?
This movie is built upon subtle humor.
Yes, and even though this one was not as epic as Do America, it was funnier.
Yeah.
I don't think I had as many laugh out loud moments or quotable moments, because I was just like going through this movie and to write this review, and like one of the jokes in it is like I didn't catch it the first time. But they were saying like in the beginning, like at space camp, they're like, "Oh yeah, the Mir station is going to monitor the wormhole." The wormhole. Dude, I always wondered how worms score,
dude.
Like something like that. And I'm like,
I laughed out loud at 1 a.m. when I heard that, and I was like, "No way!"
I didn't catch it the first time, but I was like taking notes, and I just heard like, "I don't know how worms score." I was like, "Oh my god!"
So the thing is, please do revert back to your immature days, because this movie is totally going to draw on this, and you're not going to enjoy it unless you do.
And you know, I'm just kind of drawing from like the first like 2 jokes of the movie, but it starts off at a science fair, the high school science fair back in 1998 or whenever this takes
98.
place.
Yep,
yeah,
98.
And I forgot the name of their teacher, the hippie teacher.
Oh, right.
He's just like, what's your like science project? He's like, I'm gonna kick Beavis on the nuts and see how long like he can take it. And he just keeps kicking him the nuts. And then he finds like this field goal kicker, automatic field goal kicker. And then like Beavis is like, are you gonna kick me in the nuts again? And he's like, nope, I'm not gonna kick you in the nuts anymore. Meanwhile, he's Beavis. Meanwhile, he's pumping the field goal kicker 2000. And then Beavis says, that's the best news I've heard all day. and then
he gets wrecked.
I started laughing when he said that, and he's pumping this thing. I texted you immediately. I'm like, that's the best news I've heard all day.
He gets sent right to oblivion. Catches the entire place on fire.
Well, then he flies into like a cactus patch, like fireworks. It's the whole gambit of horrible.
That was awesome. You know, now that I see that voice, totally random. Is Napoleon Dynamite based off of Butthead's voice? It's got to be, right?
Well, he's got that low, like, annoying voice.
It's like, that was awesome.
Gosh. What else did he say? I don't remember Napoleon Dynamite.
I don't either.
It's noise. The
funniest part of that movie for me was when Napoleon tried to jump over a fence and just biffed it. I rewound that part about 5 times, and then I stopped watching it.
There was a lot of subtle humor in that too.
I've yet to finish that movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Couldn't
get through it.
It had its moments. There was a Beavis and Butthead like moment.
Okay.
Where
tell me.
Back to we'll do an Inception.
There we go.
An Inception, a record scratch. Record scratch within a record scratch there. There's a scene where Uncle Rico, he's like, he always wished he can go back to high school. And he actually mail orders a time machine. And it's like, seriously, like you ever seen those thetan meters that like, you hold, but like you have to like, it's like you like, I don't know.
Please watch us right now.
I don't know if you had to like somehow like, you had to like get the on a tire. No. Jump starter, like gator clamps.
Gator clamps. Alligator clamps. Man.
I think he had alligator clamp his nuts and like hold these things. And then Napoleon Dynamite found the time machine, and he's like, "What happened to Uncle Rico? I haven't seen him all day." He's like, "Do you think the time machine actually worked? I don't know. We should try it."
No
and
way.
then he tried it, and you see like the guy like, "Ah!" And he goes, "This time machine sucks,
dude." I have to watch it.
Then Uncle Rico like limps in with like ice on his nuts. He's like, "Yeah, tell me about it."
Haven't seen him all day. Oh, that's good.
All right, back to this movie, which is equally as funny.
Oh wait,
and there's a lot of that.
Yeah, there was.
So as it turns out,
There's a lot of slapstick humor.
So they set the science fair on fire.
Yeah.
And they go to court over this. And the judge like takes mercy on them and says, like, since there was no science fair winner, you guys are the science fair winner.
Well, the way, so let me say it. The way he did it was even funnier because obviously Beavis and Butthead did the worst they could do and set a whole science fair on fire. And the winner of that science fair would have received a space camp trip.
Yes.
And the judge is like, I was a kid once, and you are troubled youths. And it sounded like Neil deGrasse Tyson saying this, and I'm pretty sure it was.
I don't know. Actually.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Pull up the card.
Yeah.
And so he tells them, so not that I know of, but sounded just like him. Anyway, he's telling them, you are troubled youth, so I'm going to do the best thing I can for you. You're going to space camp.
Yeah, there was no winner, so you guys win the space camp. And it was like, oh.
Yeah, everyone loses their mind. Other version Hank Hill is dying in the
he was there? Oh, I didn't catch
the pre-version of Hank Hill.
Anderson.
Yeah.
Damn it, I missed it.
He was right there. I was like, Hank.
Are you sure? Didn't he die? Oh, the principal died at the end.
The principal died.
At the end of the series. Yeah, so then they go to space camp and they discover the landing module or whatever, and it's just
the docking module.
And it's just this pole.
Yeah,
that goes inside this socket.
It's a phallic object
that goes inside this socket, and it's like,
ooh, yeah. Me.
And they apparently do it for days and hours.
Yeah, for hours. And somebody shows up. One of the astronauts shows up, and he's like, "Oh my god, they've been at it for hours.
They have an unhealthy obsession with this landing module."
and then they grab. So it looks like two robot arms, right? Yeah. So if you're watching us on YouTube right now, I'm doing C clamps with my hands.
Yeah.
So one of them, he's got my clamps.
This is clamps. I got the clamps. I got the clamps.
Shut up and take my money.
Reference.
Yeah.
So grabs one of the clamps, grabs a hold of this phallic shaped device.
Yeah.
And then the other hand is used as support, but they're whacking it. You just hear the smack sound.
Yeah, he's like, oh, they're using the support clamps as an auxiliary docking station. We didn't even think about it. Man, maybe these guys should go up into space.
So ridiculous.
Yeah, and then the lead astronaut Serena Ryan, she's like, do you guys want to go into space and do this for real with me?
Yeah,
and like, we're with you. They're always trying to score, right?
Yeah.
So
the whole plot is to score. By the way, if you haven't caught on,
well, that was the plot of the first one too.
Yeah,
because
it's Beavis and Butthead.
Bruce Willis thought they were the assassins, and they said, "Yeah, you get the score as my wife." And then a picture of cartoon Demi Moore is like, "You want us to score with her?" Yeah, you get to score with her.
Totally random. I can't recall this, but it feels like that's loosely based on the whole 9 yards. Because Bruce Willis was also an assassin.
Really? Well,
yeah.
Bruce Willis wasn't an assassin. He was hiring them to be assassins.
Oh, hitman.
Yes. Because
okay. Yeah. I'm back.
Okay. No more highbrow whatevers. So anyway, they do the space montage since they're going in space since they know they're going to score, and they go through the vomit comet. They go through the spinny graviton machine, and they all that stuff.
Yeah. And if you've seen the trailer, it's pretty much all that.
Yeah, they're convinced they're going to score, and then right before they go into space, Beavis gives a very heartfelt speech about how he's finally going to score, and like, this is for America.
I've wanted to do this my whole life, but I never thought it would really happen. I dreamed about it every night, and then I'd wake up and feel ashamed, and I'd try to hide it from my mom. But today, my dream will come true.
And he loves everybody, and like, yeah, this is great, I'm going to score. Like, and it was like, yeah, America, yeah.
America.
Yeah. So they go off into space. They actually go off into space with the crew.
I was dying of laughter the fact that they were going into space. I don't know why I found that so funny, but I was laughing hysterically.
Well, it was funny because they just got into space and didn't give them all but 5 minutes before they got in like serious trouble.
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah. Where Serena, the lead astronaut, she's like, go ahead, look at the Earth. It's like amazing. It's so small yet so big, and it's vulnerable. And like, I've waited my whole life to see something like as epic as this. And like, you guys need to take it in because you're the youngest astronauts in history. And then they like, well, Earth sucks. They change the channel. And then they find like a telescope.
Yeah.
Aim it at the sun.
Yeah.
And then I think Beavis goes first. He's like, ah, my eye! And he's like, maybe I should try the other eye. Fries his other eye and he's just like blinded completely.
Yeah, and then Butthead's like, oh, you're dumb. I got to try this. He does the same thing. You idiot.
Yeah, I don't know if they showed them, but they're just completely
Yeah,
blinded.
you see, they have freaking glaucoma eyeballs for a second.
Yeah, took some money shots in the eyes there.
Yeah. Oh, no.
From the sun.
So now we have them, they get called by Serena. So they're like, oh, yeah.
Time to dock into the mirror. Oh, and I love the mirror astronaut. He's like, hey, guy. Like, he doesn't say anything, but he looks so happy that they're here to like dock. He's like, hey, guys.
Yeah, so they're docking into the space station?
The Mir space station.
Yeah, so the Mir space station. So
and if you'll remember a history lesson here, the Mir space station is not there anymore. Now there's an international space station.
Yes.
It's different. The Mir, actually, they did a planned drop into the atmosphere and it burned off. But this movie infers that Beavis and Butthead were
the reason
why there's no Mir space station anymore.
And we'll disclose that right now.
Yeah, you go ahead.
So because now they have burned their retinas like idiots, they're called by Serena to come and dock the station. So now they have to do their whole due diligence.
Due diligence.
Due diligence. Those words are hard.
I know.
Words.
Words are hard.
Hard.
You said hard.
Please bear with us. So now they're called for their. That was pretty good.
Do you have tippy?
Hey. So now they have to dock into the Mir space station, and of course they flub the entire thing, just going in sideways, wrong ways, and all. But destroy the Mir space station, and we catch the astronaut that's in the Mir space station just floating out to space, absolutely dead. It's like, ooh.
Well, first he had a sad, like a uh-oh face.
Yeah.
He went from like really happy to see them. They're like, whoa.
To dead.
Yeah, to dead. And then it turns out they lost like all their oxygen, or like
they're like, we only have we wasted 93% of our oxygen, so only 5 of us can survive.
Yeah, she was gonna sacrifice her. Serena's gonna sacrifice herself for these two like youths who didn't belong there. It's like, it's all my fault.
Yeah, so she goes into her I guess her space cabin, we'll say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and they're like, "Oh, wait, maybe she wants us to score from the outside." They put in space.
She wants
suits.
us to see.
She wants to see from the outside. When she gave them like her bracelet, her mom's bracelet or something. It's like, this is the bracelet that means more to me than anything. I'm going to give it to you, and you take it back, remember like this time that you went into space. And then they put on space. Oh wait, okay. So then she comes back and she's like, "Yeah, Beavis and Butthead, they're safe, but like we need to like deal with this." And like in a professional manner, and then like one of us is gonna die, or 2 of us is gonna die, and it's like Serena and like Zoe do like volunteers.
Yeah.
And then she looks in the window and sees them in the spacesuits, and they have that ring, and they're like, their finger to the ring, and she's like, "Screw it, these guys are idiots," and just launches them into space.
Yeah, she whacks them with the arm that's supposed to help dock them.
Yeah, just golf like forward into space. And then part of the reason why they went up in this mission was because there was a black hole somehow traveling.
Yes, we forgot to mention that. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's that wormhole. Those all worms get laid.
Nice.
So they do that, and they get launched in the black hole and fly into 2022.
Yep.
Meanwhile, they land on the beach, and then the Serena woman's the governor of Texas now.
I guess so.
As running for governor,
as they walk onto the shore, it looks like Santa Monica Pier.
But it was Texas.
It was Texas.
Yeah.
So they walk up the pier, and before they actually go up the stairs onto the pier to witness that she is actually the new governor or whatever, they run into their alternate dimensional selves.
Smart Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, smart Beavis and Butthead.
And these guys look like the aliens from Star Trek and like the cage.
Yeah,
the big butthead aliens.
Big butt heads, cone heads.
Yeah.
Round heads, we'll call them.
Yeah, you've seen it a million times. And they tell them that they have to find another like wormhole that they've placed, and they have to go inside in order to stop another tear in the space-time continuum. And then apparently in this...
Because without them, the entire cosmos will go into disarray.
Yes, and they ask them, do any of the Beavis and Buttheads ever score in any of the universes? No. They never score.
None of them. Not
None of them
one.
ever score. Meanwhile, Serena, like a lot happens. Serena,
So much happens.
Yeah, Serena discovers that they're alive, and they're like, "Oh no, those two idiots I threw in the wormhole a long time ago."
She's
are
like
alive.
20 some odd years later.
Back to like screw me over.
Yeah, because obviously she murdered them to her knowledge.
Yeah, and then the FBI, they think that they're just aliens.
Yeah.
Because there were 4 of them for a moment. They were identically like the same. Like, what's going on here? They're being invaded by like these multiple aliens.
Yeah, and all of a sudden there's just 2 of them.
Yeah. So there's like a lot of that goes on, and Beavis and Butthead just getting a lot of shenanigans. Oh, and the best. Okay. I got like so hungry for Del Taco when I saw this scene. So what happens is these these idiots from like, they look like King of the Hill family.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, will you take our, they're from Germany. Will you take our picture? Yeah. Like, this show sucks. There's just a bunch of idiots on like this little TV thing.
Yeah.
And then they
like, step back further. Step back further.
Yeah. He asked them to take their picture. They step back further and just fall into the ocean.
Yeah.
And then they take the phone, they go over to like the nacho counter, and they're like, we want some nachos. It's like, well, do you have a credit card? No. He's like, do you have your phone? He's like, we got this. He's like, okay, let me see it. And he scans the thing. He's like, here you go. He's like, we can buy things with this phone now. He's like, yep, you can buy anything with the phone. He's like, oh my God. And they go in like the world's like
craziest dumb nacho splurge.
Yeah, they have like, remember like Dumb and Dumber?
Yeah, they're from 98, so they don't understand. This is as if Dumb and Dumber arrived in 2022.
There's a scene in Dumb and Dumber where they found the suitcase full of money. The
suitcase full of money,
and they buy all kinds of stuff, and then they got the thing that,
they go to Aspen.
Yeah. It's the same thing, but all they get are nachos or nacho-related paraphernalia. You see them like making it rain with nachos. Oh my God, I wanted a Del Taco so bad.
Dude, I wanted nachos so bad.
I wanted nachos at Del Taco. For some reason.
Like just gross movie nachos with some jalapenos on the side. Delicious.
Yeah, I heard rumors of Chick-fil-A now.
What?
Chick-fil-A nachos?
Oh man, that'd be amazing. Good God.
It's better than Viagra. Tell you where I eat those nachos out of. Bowl.
Nice. It's not Jobo.
Where were we? That was the best news I've heard all day. And then the alternate Beavis and Butthead try to get him to go to the college, and there's a good white privilege scene where like the
holy cow,
where they go into like a women's studies class. And I remember seeing that crunchy guy in the audience, and like, oh, this crunchy guy is gonna like say something, isn't he? Because he looks like totally like dreadlocked, like white dude.
I think his name was Gage.
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 And they're talking about white privilege. Yeah. And then like one of the girls starts talking about white
black
privilege.
lady tries to talk, and he just goes like, hold on.
I got this, babe.
And they have the inside track for any job
I've got this one, Aisha. They have the inside track for any job they want.
He puts his hand in front of her face and blocks her point of view. Literally.
From the camera view. He's like this. He's like, white privilege is when...
I can't even see her. So they explain this to Beavis and Butthead, and obviously they take this literally.
We have white privilege. We want everything.
You guys wouldn't understand.
And they go to jail over this because they like just screw everything up. But like over here was another line that I missed the first time I saw it.
Tell me, let's see if I have the same note.
It's funny because I didn't catch it the first time, but there was a scene like, oh, the youth pastor always said we're going to jail.
I laughed way too hard.
And then Butthead says, look, Beavis, the system works.
The system works.
The system works.
Oh, the system did work.
The system works, Beavis. They're always destined for jail.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Oh my God. That was like funny.
That was way too much humor. And it was subtle. Just like I said, please make sure you're watching it.
Yeah, pay attention to it.
The humor is subtle. This movie draws you in.
Oh, yeah. And then they do so they're in jail, and they do a spot check, and like this dude's got a bunch of pills, and he gives them to Beavis. He's like, here, take care of these pills.
They're like in county intake. So it's like a lot of people in one little
They're going to be
cell.
arraigned on Monday, but like the guy gives them pills because they're going to get checked. He's like, and then he's like, and he gives them Beavis, and he starts eating them. He's like, don't eat them. And it's like, oh no, he's eating the pills. It turns out there actually was a big TP shortage at this prison, and he starts a toilet paper riot,
which was hilarious.
It was good because like even the warden was like, "Oh my God, I feel so bad. I've been like cutting back on the toilet paper budget, and I didn't think it would turn into this."
This has turned into something bigger. Cornholio's their hero. He did the most dangerous thing you can do in this place. He gave those men hope.
These two people are heroes.
He's like,
toilet paper.
He's like,
toilet
they've given them something that's worse than freedom.
something to
He
live
gave
for.
them hope.
I am going out. We need CB. What am I back on? Let those two people out. They don't deserve to be in here. They're heroes.
We're gonna scrub their records. They never were here, as far as we're concerned.
It's funny.
It's like, are you kidding me right now?
Yeah. And then now, since Serena's the governor, she found out that they were in prison. She's been after him throughout the whole movie. And like, I'm going to the prison to go pardon two idiots. And she pardoned just two idiots because where these guys
because they weren't there. Beavis and Butthead weren't there, and to her knowledge, they were not there at all. So she pardons these two behemoths of
two
men.
weirdos.
Yeah.
And she's like, at least this day can't get any worse. They tied them to a tree and did donuts and
the screen wipes and now they're tied to a tree. It's the best. Oh man. It was good.
Actually, yeah, this movie was pretty funny.
Yeah, now I'm thinking about it. Now that I'm talking about it.
So Mike Judge, the guy who wrote this, he actually was like a coder or like a scientist. So like,
really?
He's a smart dude. Mike Judge.
I get that he's a smart dude.
He did Idiocracy and all those.
Idiocracy is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, this movie was good.
Underappreciated, by the way.
There was also some like Beavis that falls in love with Siri moments where he's like, I'm finally going to score. Oh, and he had that fantasy flashback where Serena was his girlfriend.
Beavis?
Huh?
You just scored with me.
I did? Me?
Yes. And now I'm your girlfriend.
Yes!
Oh, right.
And then like at first they're magnifying ants together and it's like normal like high school girl or middle school girlfriend shit. And then like the bully from the series was like hustling them. He's like, oh, my girlfriend's going to take care of you. And his girlfriend came in dressed like freaking Xena Warrior Princess.
With a claymore and just beheads them.
Yeah, cuts them all up.
I'm his girlfriend.
Yes! 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 Yes!
And then a Pegasus comes down. They ride off together. And the Pegasus head, he's like, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be me and Serena and Butthead. And they pan it back at the face of the Pegasus. But he's like, I'm a goat.
Yeah, I'm a goat. I'm a goat. Oh man, so ridiculous.
I'm a goat.
Oh man, that was. That's a goat.
Yeah, there was some traveling in the porta potty, and Butthead Beavis got stuck in the.
There's a bunch of like
little vignettes of comedy.
Yes,
but also they finally make it back to their hometown and their home house, which is being sold.
Yes,
and I was laughing so hard because the real estate agent started talking about what happened to what's her name. The mother,
Beavis's mom,
but we don't. She had a name too.
I don't know.
Shirley Beavis.
Okay,
they're like, yeah, Shirley Beavis. You won't believe it. And then they start turning on and off the garbage disposal. So and then she won the, and then she kept looking for
ridiculous. It was.
Hopefully, the next movie is about Shirley Beavis. Since
that would be pretty funny.
Like she was a slut. Oh, that's when they got into a big argument. Beavis and Butthead when he called.
Oh right, they started fighting each other.
Oh, and he called Serena a slut too because she had sex with all the monkeys that went into space.
Yeah, and then they got mad because they sat in their living room and looked across the living room, and there was no TV there. If you do recall Beavis and Butthead, there was a bookcase. So they started swinging books at each other, and Beavis and Butthead's like, Beavis, you have crossed the line.
You know, having been somebody who's been looking at houses lately, like I did appreciate the line in the second watch where they're like, we put the portal in the poorly renovated bathroom. It's like, yeah.
Nobody will look there.
I get it.
Like I feel this pain.
Oh, of course they put poorly renovated. They don't care. They're selling the house.
Oh man!
Oh my god! This movie, so much.
This movie.
Oh man! So yeah, they get captured by the feds again, and if the feds and Serena realize that they both want them dead, so it's like, why don't we just kill them here? But then there's this like re-emerging subplot where Serena is like a lieutenant, or number 2, whatever.
Yeah, number 2.
Always wanted validation.
Yeah.
And he ends up trying to help Beavis and Butthead.
Yes.
And much like Serena tried to help them many years ago, they screwed it up again. And they keep like leaving and coming back. And
they are absolutely buttheads. Like, I mean, seriously.
Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, they're Beavis and Buttheads. Mm-hmm. So they are absolutely dumb. So They were actually they were handcuffed to a bed when the number 2 arrived. They were in a separate hotel room. The other people in an adjacent hotel room, and they're plotting to kill Beavis and Butthead because they both want the same thing. The FBI believes that Beavis and Butthead are extraterrestrials, and Serena believes they're out here to get her and say that she was a murderer and attempt to kill them and all this stuff. When they finally realize that in fact they're just after the same thing, which is to end them and Beavis and Butthead. But her number 2 goes into the room to free them and removes the handcuffs, tells them, "Hey, I have a vehicle available for you guys to just leave. Here's the key." Gives them directions to, to blow her plot out of the water. And and he says something, I can't recall what it was, but it makes Beavis and Butthead believe that he, the number 2, has been giving it to Serena for 20 some odd years every single day.
Yeah, it sounds right.
And so they get jealous.
Well,
and they try to re-handcuff themselves.
The idiot's trying to take our woman, and we're trying to finally have sex with her.
Well, he's a madman. That's like 50 times.
I like this movie.
So dumb. Oh god!
No, there's a chase in a car. They do finally get the car, and there's a chase, and then they end up back at the house.
Yes,
and because that's where the poorly renovated bathroom is, where the wormhole is. And then the number 2 guy Carson. He gets sucked into it while trying to report everybody that's happening.
Yeah, to the whistleblowers. He gets caught up as he's on hold.
And smart Beavis and Butthead I guess anything could have been sucked into the wormhole. It really didn't matter who. We
could have thrown a brick in there.
We should have paid more attention. We didn't. We may be the smart Beavis and Butthead, but we're still very stupid. And
it's like my comparison because it is Beavis and Butthead. They're innately stupid.
Yeah, and they find
inherently stupid.
Serena finally figures out that Beavis and Butthead just won a score.
Yeah,
she thinks back and thinks to the machine going up,
and she realizes all the innuendo she's been dropping across all these years.
I'm getting better at this too.
That's pretty good.
At the beginning, I was like,
"Please watch it." He was hitting the rim.
Here, do me a favor, hit that.
Hey, the timing was fantastic. Please do watch this episode on YouTube. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Yeah. Anyway, carry on.
I done learning good.
Learn good. So now we find...
I think every day didn't get exploded. Another Mike Judge. Anyway.
Oh, that was pretty funny.
Yeah. But this is the best part. She finds out that they just wanted to score.
Yep.
And then she's like, "What do I need to do to get you guys to forget about this whole mess?
Never mention this to the populace ever again.
We got to score." It's like, "What, with both of you?"
She's like, "Oh God."
Yeah. And she's like, "I've done worse."
Yeah. And then of course that's when. Oh, carry on.
Well, let's see. Beavis. He's been thinking about this for a long time. Yes. And he's like, but Serena, all these years. And then one of those FBI dudes is like, "It's okay. Go ahead and say it."
Yeah.
And then smart Beavis comes out of the blue and he looks like an alien from Star Trek or the Twilight Zone.
It's like Beavis and Beavis's entire head with hair.
Yeah.
But bald.
And he's got like hollowed eyes, wearing a space costume or whatever. Yeah. He's like, "Serena, I love you."
I love you, Serena. For years I have watched you from afar. Through the portal, entranced by your beauty, your elegance, your grace, your intelligence.
Like you've been the woman of my dreams for many years.
I've been watching you from afar.
Watching you from the cosmos and everything and planet you've dreamed of. I can show you. Just come with me and we will do this. And I
can make your dreams come true.
I can make your dreams come true and it will be amazing. And she's like, "Okay." And they both walk off in the portal together. And then the movie first ends with Beavis and Butthead returning to 2022. So this whole thing was one big plot device to get them back in their home, back where they started, back in 2022. Oh, and then there was a scene that we kind of skipped over just briefly where they're like, if they did walk through the portal, it would have returned them back to where they belonged. And this would be you in 2022.
Oh, right.
And it was like their older selves just
doing the exact same thing.
Which made me feel really old, by the way, because that's us.
Because feels like we've known each other that long too.
My God, because now we're old Beavis and Butthead watching TV, watching Beavis and Butthead.
Well, except that we're watching ourselves.
So they end up back at their old home, but then there's one further scene that takes place in the alternate universe where Smart Beavis and Butthead come from, in which everyone in this universe is a Beavis and Butthead.
Yes.
Smart Beavis and Smart Butthead, we honor you.
Including the king and queen. The king had like the 7 of 9
Beavis
thing.
is the queen, Butthead is the king.
Yeah, and then they're like, all hail Smart Beavis. He scored.
He scored.
He scored.
The only Beavis to score.
The only Beavis to score.
For you, Smart Beavis, are the first among us to score.
It is official. She's not returning any of his calls. She's not ready to be found.
So he gets a medal for this, and then Butthead gets another medal from watching it from the foot of the bed in a suitcase.
And you, Smart Butthead, were able to watch by hiding in a suitcase at the foot of the bed.
Oh man,
like,
that's
excuse me.
And that's how the movie ends. With this,
And that's it, man.
this
Beavis and
strange-
Butthead did the universe.
Oh, you know what? I like this movie.
Oh,
But
man.
that being said, I think we covered all we can at the moment. I'm gonna give it a B-.
All right.
It may not have reached the cinematic heights of Do America, but Beavis and Butthead is a fun, easy watch. You don't have to be a diehard fan of the franchise to laugh out loud for some of the stupid jokes. Hopefully it isn't the end of the road for the duo and we see them again somewhere, sometime soon.
Nice. I will also be giving this movie a B-. This movie would have made 12-year-old me laugh out loud consistently, but it made 30-something-year-old me chuckle and laugh throughout, which I think is a big accomplishment because I don't laugh at a lot of things. I may be laughing on this show, but I don't laugh a lot when I actually watch these movies. It is crazy because it is nothing special and nothing so extravagant, but this movie just hits exactly where it needs to hit, and you laugh while you're watching it, and then you laugh in retrospect. And man, all I can see is I've gotten old.
I know,
and I'm
right?
still laughing at this movie.
And I have to make one more note that I forgot to mention. The prologue sequence. There's a scene where the credit sequence came up where there's like Star Wars Beavis and Butthead just kind of like flying around like a fake Death Star.
Right.
If you remember Do America, it started off as Beavis and Butthead as Godzilla.
Yes.
And it was the same music.
It was the same?
It was the same music
Okay.
and the same like motif. So like one started as a Godzilla and the other one started as Star Wars. And I noticed the same composer, John Fritzl, did them both too.
Yeah,
So
makes sense.
so definitely a big callback there. And you know, huge nod to that. And
yeah.
And there was a renaissance of stupid humor back in like 1996 to 1990, 2000 or whatever the heck it
Yeah,
was.
like 2001
where
or
there was
something.
South Park, Dumb and Dumber,
Yeah.
and Beavis and Butthead actually launched a lot of this stuff. So nice to see them back. But that has been our hot take for Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Hit that bell notification. Check out our Patreon. Do what you can. We are here. We are back. We do what we can.
Yeah.
I'm your host, Mark Rubalcaba from Mr. El Pineda on Clubhouse Movies Podcast. We will catch you next time. That reminds me of Jose.
DB.
That was the best news I've heard all day.